Hi, welcome. I am so excited that you are here with me today. Today, we're going to cover the actual Agency for Healthcare Administration packet for your license that you're going to send to them. So far, we have obtained zoning approval. You found the right resident. So far, we learned about how to structure that proper business because you're going to need it in order to submit the zoning requests. We find out about being the administrator, that you have to take a state exam and you have to pass that state exam. We find out about dealing with contractors. We find out that time is of the essence. We find out about ways to properly deal with those contractors. We find out about the health department. We find out about the emergency management department, employee files, resident files. We find out about your facility files. And now you're at the point that your permits are closed, that you have the proper documents from those departments and from the city that states that you got all this information completed and everything is successfully closed, your permits are, and that now you are ready to move on to the last process of your licensing process, which is the Agency for Healthcare Administration license process. And so now you're going to have to have all these paperwork that you've collected from the other authorities. They're going to tell you what you need. They're going to give you whatever report that they give you. You're going to take that report and you're going to put together a packet. That packet is going to go to the Agency of Healthcare Administration, AHCA, so that they can process your licensing process. They are the last phase because they want to make sure that you followed all the rules before now they are reviewing your application for license. By the time you get to them, you've already pretty much finished the process. Now you're just waiting for them to come in, do their initial inspection and say, yes, you have everything that you need. And if you need something else, they tell you, and then you get it, or I help you get it. And pretty much at this point, you're going to get your license as long as you submit to them whatever that they require. But the major work is already done. In this last phase, there is a form that you're going to have to get completed. It's called a proof of ability to operate form. Most applications are rejected from AHCA for that form. I highly recommend that you use a licensed CPA with experience in the ALF industry and completing these forms for assisted living to help you put together this form. And I highly recommend that you save every single receipt for every single expense that you've made, because this trained CPA with experience in assisted living knows how to account for funds that you have already spent. And so they can prove to the Agency of Healthcare Administrations that you have enough fund to be able to, God forbid, you open and you move in that first resident and you don't have enough money to pay that first month's rent, that you have some reserve that you can then pay that first month's rent, and your residents will have to be displaced. Pretty much is what this form is all about. And I highly recommend that you use a CPA to do that. Do not try to be cheap with this. And I know that this process, you spend some money, whether you had the money saved to spend, or you got a loan, or you use your credit card, or you partner up with somebody who invested the initial investment and you did your partnership that way. But nonetheless, you're going to spend a little bit of money. Nonetheless, you need that initial investment to get started in the this business. And I know that sometimes people try to be cheap. Please do not be cheap about this form. It is not that expensive to get a proper professional to fill out this form for you, because you do not want the Agency of Healthcare Administration to be rejecting your application. This is why it is so important to work with someone like me who specializes in getting people licensed in Florida, who knows the process and are able to help you put everything together correctly the first time and make sure that you are licensed as soon as possible. So during this process, the Agency of Healthcare Administration is going to review all of your files that you submit to them. Do not staple these files that you're going to send. Do not put any paper clips in them. Simply stack them together. The agency will review them and file them appropriately. And also keep in mind that the Agency of Healthcare Administration, AHCA, will not tolerate you sending application left to right with rejections all over the place. After a certain amount of time, I believe it's 3 times, they will put you on a probationary period that even if you get that information correct, they are not going to accept your application until that probationary period is over. So you want to make sure that you do things right and you work with the right people who actually is able to help you and not just giving you fluff. You know what I mean? So keep in mind, filling out this process, once they reviewed your application, they're happy with what you submit, they're going to schedule a initial review process, and they're going to come in and they're going to review your files. And if you're missing anything, they're going to tell you, I need X, Y, and Z. And you get that information to them and they tell you, you passed, congratulations. They're going to email you your license. Once you receive your license, you're now going to need to send that license to the Emergency Management Division to let them know, hey, I am now licensed, and so they can keep that in your file. Okay, so without further ado, this is the healthcare application process. This is the last phase of the process. You've submitted every piece of information and now the agency came. You give them all of their information that they need. They now tell you that congratulations, you licensed, you have your license, and now you're going to forward that license to the Emergency Management Division so they can keep that in your file and finalize your emergency management plan. Usually, if you work with someone like me, all that stuff is already completed and all you have to do is forward that application to them. In the next module, we're going to cover what to do next, okay? I will see you in the next module.